For reading content, I chose the content objective. Students will be able to use the information from the books to answer true or false on the anticipation reaction guide. The language objective is students will be able to work collaboratively with others by following agreed upon rules for discussion, including listening to others, speaking when recognized, making appropriate contributions, and building on the ideas of others. The TEK that I chose was 2.1D, developing and sustaining foundational language skills, listening, speaking, discussion, and thinking. Oral language. The student develops oral language through listening, speaking, and discussion. The student is expected to work collaboratively with others by following agreed upon rules for discussion, and including listening to others, speaking when recognized, making appropriate contributions, and building on ideas of others. The activity that I chose is the teacher will review vocabulary words on Anchor Chart. The teacher will define continent, landforms, bodies of water, maps, globes, and countries. Before reading the book, students will have to read the statements in the anticipation section of the anticipation reaction guide, and then fill out the anticipation section, answering whether they believe the statement is true or false. The teacher will read aloud the book Gifts by Jo Ellen Bogart. Then ask the students if they know what the 7 continents and 4 oceans are, and if they heard any mentioned in the book. Provide 1 to 2 minutes wait time. Have the students name out any of the continents or oceans that they know and list it on the board in a T-chart. Ask if anyone has been to any of the continents. Give 30 seconds wait time. Then have students reread the statements on the anticipation reaction guide, then answer whether the statement is true or false in the reaction side of the chart. The content that I have is writing. The content objective is students will be able to comprehend and evaluate facts from the Duxter website and organize the information into a graphic organizer. The language objective is students will be able to discuss facts about continents, recall and restate an interesting fact, and write it down. The TEK is 2.7E, response skills. Listening, speaking, reading, writing, and thinking using multiple texts. The student responds to an increasingly challenging variety of sources that are read, heard, or viewed. The student is expected to interact with sources in meaningful ways, such as illustrating or writing. The activity that I chose is students will go on the website, duxters.com/geography, and research on one specific continent that is assigned to them. They will read the different information provided to them on the website based on specific continent they were given. They will then use a graphic organizer like the one on the site book, page 142, to write down 5 to 6 specific details about the continent. After they have written it down, they will talk with another partner group to discuss the details and the facts that they found about their continent. Each group of partners will share their 5 to 6 details. Then after listening to their peers, each partner will write an interesting fact they learned about the other group's continent.
Math. Fun with foreign money. Co. Student will be able to identify the cost of items in other countries by using foreign currency and comparing its worth to the American dollar. Low. Student will be able to act out a transaction using foreign currency by using fake money to purchase goods from another student in front of the class. Activity. Students will be given a packet of money that represents a real foreign currency and a paper indicating how much that money is worth compared to an American dollar. Students will then be given a worksheet containing questions about how much American dollars they would need in order to buy something in a different country compared to the native currency. Afterwards, students will pair off and sell one another items using the math and exchange rates they learned in class. This will be done one group at a time in front of the class. Students will have time to prepare beforehand.
The science activity is based off of the Science TEK 2.10a. The content objective is students will be able to record and compare how the physical characteristics and behaviors of animals help them meet their basic needs in their environment. The language objective is students will be able to record their findings by writing facts and summarizing their information in 4 to 5 complete sentences with correct capitalization and punctuation. For the activity, students will be split into 7 groups with varying proficiencies and assigned a continent. Each group will choose an animal that is unique to their continent. Students will then research their animal on National Geographic Kids writing important facts about their animals' physical characteristics and behaviors. As a group, students will summarize their information in complete sentences. They may also add visuals to support their writing.
Social Studies. Content objective. Students will be able to identify each of the 7 continents by labeling the outlines of each continent and finding them in a crossword puzzle. Language objective. Students will be able to name one of the continents out loud by speaking in a complete sentence using the following frame. We identify number blank as the continent blank. TEACS 2.6a Geography. Identify major landforms and bodies of water, including each of the continents and each of the oceans on maps and globes. Crossword puzzle is our activity. 1. You will receive a crossword puzzle. 2. Identify each of the continents below and label them accordingly. 3. With a partner, compare your answers and spelling. 4. Use your labels to fill in the rows and columns on the crossword puzzle. 5. Be ready to share your answers with the class. Note: rule of the puzzle: 1 letter per box. Your word should fit in the row or column you choose. Art. Content objective. Students will be able to create a small globe-shaped booklet with description for each of the 7 continents. Language objective. Students will be able to distinguish the 7 continents by writing down descriptions about each continent in their small globe booklet. 2.2c. The TEACS. Creative expression. Students communicate ideas through original artworks using a variety of media with appropriate skills. The student expresses thoughts, ideas creatively while challenging the imagination, fostering reflective thinking, and developing disciplined effort and progressive problem-solving skills. The student is expected to C. Identify and practice skills necessary for producing drawings, paintings, prints, constructions, and sculpture.
Music. Content objective. Students will be able to identify popular or influential figures from each continent and create a jingle. Language objective. Students will be able to write lyrics to a song describing a popular or influential figure of a particular continent and share that loud to the other groups. Activity. The students will break off into 4 groups during their computer lab to research political, popular, or influential people from the assigned continent. The students will use the research they found to write and create a jingle. Each group will share their jingle with the class.
Physical education, cultural dance. Co. Student will be able to perform a dance by learning about and participating in several dances from around the world. Lo. Student will be able to describe their dance by explaining it in their own words on a sheet of paper. The activity. Students will be shown videos of several dances from around the world and be given a brief description of each. Students will then be taken outside and placed into one of several groups. Music for each dance will be played briefly, and everyone, including the teacher, will participate. Afterwards, students will be led back to class and instructed to explain either the process or meaning of one dance on a sheet of paper. This will be their exit ticket.
The ESL activity was based off of the English Language Arts and Reading TEAC 2.21a and ELPS 2D, 3J, and 4G. The content objective is students will be able to identify past and present tense used in a mentor text during a read aloud. The language objective is students will be able to rewrite an assigned sentence by changing verbs to past tense. For the activity, the students will read the mentor text as a class. The students will use hand gestures to signal when past or present tense is used as they listen throughout the read aloud. After, students will be given a sentence from the mentor text. Each student will rewrite their sentence by using past tense.
Technology. Online scavenger hunt. Content objective. The student will be able to identify and label the 7 continents in order from largest to smallest by completing an online scavenger hunt. Language objective. Students will be able to create a world map poster with culturally relevant objects or media to represent each continent. Activity. The students will break off into groups of 4 during their computer lab time to complete a continent scavenger hunt. After completing the scavenger hunt, the students will create a poster over one of the continents using culturally relevant objects, media, or facts from that continent.